Sisi gave a speech on Thursday to mark the anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party centenary. In his speech, the president greeted the Chinese people on the occasion, describing the Communist Party as a great political edifice that guaranteed China a full independence. Here is the full speech.
Your Majesty Xi Jinping, Secretary General of the Chinese Communist Party, the President of China. It gives me honor and appreciation to extend my deep to congratulate the Chinese people on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the establishment of the Communist Party. This great party that led China successfully, secured independence and developed the modern China since 1949. It has been leading the country by wise policies and achieved the Chinese miracle that made China to be one of the superpowers in the whole world. It reflects the significance of the Chinese civilization, and it is a driver for development. The Chinese experience is considered successful example to be followed by others and to be considered and studied by other countries. The party succeeded under your leadership to achieve great successes, and we congratulate you for this achievement. The first achievement is the developed country, and this is a reflection of the sincere leadership, the determination of the Chinese people. Your Majesty, I pledged with you in different meetings to push forward our friendship relations, and today we are seeking to promote our strategic relations to achieve better results. COVID-19 pandemic proved that cooperation among countries, the ability to develop integration at different levels is a main factor to secure stability in the international community, and we are joining efforts together to achieve more successful experiences, and we are supporting the national efforts to overcome the international challenges. And I pay a tribute to efforts exerted by Chinese government in cooperation with the Egyptian government to face off the COVID-19 pandemic. Your Majesty, if we consider the history, we can remember that the first national conference of the Chinese Communist Party, which comes at the same date of the Egyptian Revolution in 1952, and the party was established in 1920. This revolution paved the way to develop the country and develop the liberalization of different African countries. Egypt was the first African and Arab country in the Mediterranean region to recognize the Chinese Republic, the achievement of the Chinese party, and establish the relations with China. And this year we will congratulate, we will celebrate the anniversary of 65 years of this relation, and again I congratulate Your Majesty, the Chinese people on the occasion of the Chinese Revolution, and I convey the greetings of the Egyptian people to you on that occasion, and we pray to God to keep our countries safe and to keep our people safe, and peace be upon you.
President Xi Jinping hailed China's irreversible course from colonial humiliation to great power status at the centenary celebrations for the Chinese Communist Party on Thursday, in a speech reaching deep into history to remind patriots at home and rivals abroad of his nations. Details follow.
People gathered on Thursday in Beijing to take photographs of celebratory flyovers and sing revolutionary songs as the ruling Communist Party celebrated its 100th birthday, expressing pride in China's development and wishes for a more powerful country. The Chinese Communist Party, which came to power in 1949 under Mao, initially recruited peasants and workers, but has evolved to embrace markets and entrepreneurship under socialism with Chinese characteristics. China's President Xi Jinping hailed a new world created by the Chinese people as the party marked the centenary of its founding with a ceremony in the capital's central Tiananmen Square. Xi said the party had brought about national rejuvenation, lifting tens of millions from poverty and alerted the landscape of world development. The Chinese president, whose speech braided the economic miracle of China with the longevity of the party, had cemented his 8-year rule through a personality cult, ending presidential term limits and declining to anoint a successor. In its 100th year, the party has delivered a selective version of history through films, red tourism, campaigns and books which dance over the mass violence of the Cultural Revolution, famines and the 1989 Tiananmen Square crackdown.
President Xi Jinping, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi addressed the nation on Wednesday, marking the 8th anniversary of the June 30th revolution. During his speech, President al-Sisi said that the revolution is a unique model, an immortal memory in the nation's history, which enabled Egypt to restore its identity and the Egyptian people to correct their path. The president noted that the revolution proved to the entire world that Egyptians have a relentless will in the time of hard challenges. President al-Sisi also stressed that the Egyptian people's awareness contributed in the state's efforts to implement a comprehensive strategic vision of reconstructing a strong and advanced nation. The president added that the government is racing time in order to achieve the aspirations of the Egyptian people through launching development projects in all fields and sectors. Meanwhile, on his social media accounts, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi greeted the Egyptian people on the 8th anniversary of the June 30th revolution. The president asserted that the revolution has never been a casual moment of anger, but was one of the most refined ways to express loyalty for the nation and its soil. President al-Sisi also praised the Egyptians who sacrificed their souls in rejection of terrorism and extremism. The president noted that the Egyptians proved to the world that they made the right choices, paving the way for establishing the new republic. Egypt marked the 8th anniversary of the June 30th revolution on Wednesday, a significant day in the country's history, presenting a new start for Egypt's political, economic and social progress. After the revolution, Egypt witnessed major economic reforms, reviving the financial sector's performance, which was highly praised by the international rating agencies. The story.
Egypt marks the anniversary of the June 30th revolution. This time, 8 years ago, Egyptians of all ages gathered in the country's squares, streets and boulevards to protest for bread, freedom and social justice. June 30th was a significant day in the history of the country, presenting a new start for Egypt's political, economic and social progress. Since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi took office, practical steps have emerged in integrating youth people into various executive institutions. However, there is one beautiful outcome of the January 25th revolution that is undebatable and undeniable. The uprising sparked a wave of initiative, creativity and innovation. Today, Egypt's population are among the most creative in the world, taking initiative like never before. Gone are the days of waiting for someone else to take action. Revolution showed the courage of Egyptians to stand up and take matters in their own hands. Elected in May 2014, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has chosen to take a different route and will vote against long-held Egyptian taboos. He has challenged the policies adopted by the previous presidents. The magnitude of the challenges facing Egypt is considerable, and the responsibility for confronting these challenges is collective. Egypt is passing through the most difficult time in its history, according to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in many of his public speeches. Since the 30th June revolution, much has changed in Egypt.
Egypt on Wednesday reported 251 new coronavirus infections, bringing the total number of cases to 281,384 people since the outbreak hit the country in mid-February last year. The Health Ministry also reported 21 new deaths, bringing the total number of fatalities to 16,169. The ministry added that 579 patients were discharged from hospitals, rising the number of those who have recovered to 211,384 people.